Hello and welcome back to another week of My Green Pets. Hope everyone's been doing alright. I have discovered something awesome this week. Check this out. All Apple devices on their cameras now have a time-lapse feature, which means I am going to be doing time-lapse all the time. Not only is it super cool, it shows you throughout the day how the light moves across your growing space, and I really feel like that information is really valuable for those of us who are not sure if our plants are getting enough light. So we'll be seeing more of that. First up on the list, we've got the Thanksgiving cactus that I showed you last week in full bloom. It's got a couple of flowers left on it, but by and large, most of them have withered and faded. The other one that I showed you, the fuchsia colored one, is in full bloom right now, even though it's just one flower. And there's a couple other flowers on some little cuttings. But I actually prefer this color to the orange ones. The monster Vanda continues to impress. Most of its spikes have withered and faded, but there's still 3 or 4 left. This plant has been in bloom since September, and I think we can expect the flowers to last well into the new year. This is a plant that's near and dear to my heart, the Oncidium species maculatum from Central America. It's been working on 2 spikes. This is the longer of the 2, and we're starting to see some branches start to develop towards the end of the spike. It will be very nice to have that bloom in January. Of course, we have Oncidium Sharry baby still showing her stuff, and an unknown Phalænopsis blooming more and more buds out as the weeks go by. Zygopetalum Bright Imagination is still working on its spike, and the buds are finally showing. There are going to be 3 flowers if everything continues the way that they've been going. Bulbophyllum Ruthenium has only been in bloom for about a week, but the older flowers on the spike are starting to fade. They're kind of taking on a darker color. Luckily, there are still a few newer flowers that are in their full color, and we'll be hoping for a larger, more impressive spike on this plant next year. Alright, I've been saying at least for the last month that Bulbophyllum Medusa is getting ready to bloom, but finally it actually is getting ready to bloom. The little strands and hairs of the flowers are starting to poke out the ends of the buds, and I would say within a week we should expect to see her in full bloom. Paphiopedilum Michael Koopowitz is starting to work on one of its first flowers, and hopefully within a couple of weeks we should see at least one flower fully bloomed out. Well, that's it for this week. In spite of the cold, we've had some fairly sunny days, and seeing a full day pass by in a matter of seconds really kind of puts things into perspective for you. So I hope that your green pets are doing well as well, and I will see you next week right here on My Green Pets.